I think a lot of people, if you're sort of walking on, you think, oh my gosh, say I compromised my integrity or I did something, and what could have stopped right here with that acknowledgement often ends up becoming a downward spiral because when something festers in secret, it just gets worse and worse. And the enemy, who his whole job profile is to be the accuser of the brethren.
Right.
That's what he does. And so he is gainfully employed before you wake up in the morning. And especially if you've got any kind of platform, if you've got any, he will, when you wake up, man, before you open up your eyes, his voice is going to start accusing you. You're already down this downward spiral. So it becomes worse and worse and worse. And I think we need to have a safe place in the church that says, you can go and you can confess and get help and get wholeness, and that not everything is the end of everything. What the enemy wants you to believe is that, man, if you acknowledge this or work with this, that's the end. That's the end of your ministry, or that's the end of your business, or that's the end of your life. Now, there are some cases, of course, abuse or anything like that, where of course, that's a whole different thing. Let me categorically say, I'm not talking about that. But I am talking about oftentimes a lot of people, and here is the challenge, that people would perceive them to be successful. My heart goes out because they've got less and less places they could actually go and go, I need help.
Right.
I need help here. Right. As if somehow, are we so healed this side of eternity that we never need help? Are we so whole that we never make mistakes? So on the one hand, we say, you can make mistakes and you will make mistakes until the day you stand before Jesus. And then we say, but I'm going to cut you off. If you make a mistake, there is no way to come back. You're not integrous. And because somebody does something or says something, I'm not even talking about a pattern. I'm just saying does something that is a mistake or a failure, that doesn't make them a fraud all over, like necessarily. And I think we have so little grace for anybody that is in any kind of successful role that we think they must be like that. It's like, well, maybe they're not. Maybe they just literally made a mistake and they want some help and they want some grace. And I think when I talk to a lot of people, it is amazing to me how many are just frightened to say anything and carrying such a burden because it's like nobody gives them permission to be able to make a mistake, although we say everybody makes mistakes.
Right.
Do you all know what I'm saying?
No, yeah, because, I mean, when you think about it, just like people have a misconception of what real biblical success is, they have the same misconception of what they're supposed to do with their wounded sisters and brothers. You know, the Bible talks about those that are spiritual should restore those that have fallen in such a fault, lest you yourselves be tempted, you know. And I don't understand why is it that when we go to seek help, you know, we're stoned even greater. And so we as the body have to begin to create this safe place. I always call it a grace place, you know, for others to come and, you know, to be ministered to. I remember when Mike and I were getting ready to start ministry, and he told me, he said, okay, DeeDee, I know it's time. It's God for us to get started. And I said, oh, no. Until we work on our relationship and we get things right, I said, we're not starting anything, because I'm not going to do fake. I'm not going to do phony. I'm not going to be sitting up there suffering in silence, smiling at everybody, making people believe that I'm okay. We need to get help so we can be true to who God has called us to be. You will never be able to minister out of the crucibles of who you are, you know, until you're really whole. It's like, I wanted to be whole. But again, because we will take that to somebody, then they will throw stones at us and make us feel even less than we're supposed to be.
Yeah.
So.
And I think it's just like understanding that it's not, don't confuse success and perfection, or saying that it's a lack of integrity because somebody makes a mistake. It's like somewhere you've got to have people close by that you can be accountable to, that will help you. But I think a lot of people, and I notice this, I see this with some young people that I talk to, they're actually a little bit frightened to believe God and to step out and to really pursue success for the glory of God. Because in the cancel culture in which they live, they're going, look, man, if I make one mistake, I'm out. I'm canceled. The whole thing is like finished. And I am really concerned. I guess I'm taking this show to go, I'm really concerned about this because Jesus canceled sin on the cross. Jesus canceled death.
Right.
That's the cancellation. Jesus doesn't cancel people. He canceled sin. But we live in this culture where you're like, whoa. And again, I am not talking about a pattern of abuse or hiding things or lying where it's a consistent pattern, where it's I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about, my gosh, in the world in which we live, people are like, one wrong tweet or saying one thing the wrong way or pulling something out of context or someone just makes a mistake and goes, I'm so sorry. How can I make this right? We like cancel. And I think that what that does is make people very fearful to step up and go, well, I want my life to count for God, because you're like, if I get out there, I'm a target and I'm going to be taken out. And, so I think it's a very real thing in the world in which we live.
Oh, especially now, we're in a very sensitive culture. I mean, this whole culture, this whole world is so sensitive now about everything. And it's like everybody is walking on eggshells. If you say something about this race, if you say something about this religion, if you say something about this man or this woman, there is such an attack. And we have to learn the Bible talks about that we shall honor and agape, honor and love all men. And if we would get the revelation of that, it's like, let me accept you for who you are. Let me honor you for who God has created you to be, with your flaws and all of your mistakes. It is not our job to really fix anybody. Our job is to minister grace to them and allow the Spirit of God to deal with their heart. But a lot of us, we just, kind of step back off of people because everybody is so vulnerable, so sensitive. So it's different.
I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe today and you'll never miss a new upload.
And don't forget to check out our Better Together shop. Thanks for being a part of our community.